this room probably isn't without their cell phone for more than a few minutes at a time. Am I right? According to Pew Research, 46% of smartphone owners say that their smartphone is something they couldn't live without. And I know I'm certainly one of those. Today, nearly 2/3 of all Americans own a smartphone. 19% rely on that smartphone for accessing online information and for staying connected with the world around them. And it's these facts which led us to agree on our innovation plan, which we call S.A.V.E, Sales Agent Video Engagement. Our purpose today is to show how our innovation plan, when put into effect, will impact our company in several positive ways, specifically through persistency and retention. What differentiates PFP from other insurance agencies? It's our people. By deepening the connection between our policyholders and our sales representatives, we'll be able to deepen the connection and also develop the post-sales relationship. At its core, our video marketing campaign is a quality-driven campaign. It will reflect elements such as customer satisfaction and brand loyalty as opposed to mere dollar amounts. But with that being said, brand loyalty can dramatically increase the chances of someone making a repeat purchase. According to a study conducted by Zuberance, the leading social media marketing company, brand advocates drive 33% more sales and 18% more traffic than regular customers. Scott Cook, founder of Intuit, says a brand is no longer what we tell the consumer it is, it's what consumers tell each other it is. So by establishing a personal relationship with our policyholders, we'll be able to obtain referrals and positive word of mouth advertisement, and that will inevitably lead to increased sales dollars. As far as persistency is concerned, we took a look at the June 30th paid business reports. For our 3-month persistency rate company-wide, we're at about 88%, which is great. But when we reach the 12-month mark, that number drops down to just about 70%, which is also good, but we're striving for excellence in this company. We feel that it's not enough to just make new sales. We want to ensure that we're able to keep current sales going and strong. Our video engagement presentation will boost our retention. We will actively reach out to our policyholders and illustrate the great value that they have to our company. Our thinking is the more valued and targeted a consumer feels, the more likely they will to remain loyal to the PFP brand. Amanda?
So the S.A.V.E video engagement program includes both an email and an SMS text message. We've decided to incorporate both forms of communication so our policyholders can interact with us on their terms, and we can really increase the likelihood of our messaging getting across. SMS texting has a 98% open rate in comparison to a 22% average open rate for email marketing. We're going to be communicating with our policyholders at key predetermined touch points on the policyholder life cycle. And for the purposes of this presentation, we've identified 3 core touch points: a welcome, a birthday, and an anniversary. Prior to filming, the agents will be receiving scripting for communication purposes, and when we walk through the videos, we'll show you how all of these pieces have clear calls to action. So let's take a look through that first touch point. This is a welcome to the Family Security Plan. This will be communicated to our policyholders within 24 hours after a policyholder makes his or her first purchase. All of these templates will be created in Marketo, and we'll use Marketo to distribute these communications. As you'll see here, Marketo allows us to send the email from the sales agent, him or herself, and the subject line has a number of unique features. We're going to utilize Marketo tokens to personalize the subject line with the policyholder's first name, as well as the sales agent's name. We're going to also use the word video throughout all of our subject lines. Using video in a subject line can increase your open rates by 19%, increase your click rates by 65%, and decrease your opt-out rates by 26%. All of our videos will link to an unlisted video on the Family Security Plan's YouTube channel. These videos are not public, so the only way they can be accessed is through these communication pieces, or if someone were to forward them to a family member or a friend, which is something we would highly encourage. So David, it looks like you purchased your policy, and within 24 hours you're going to receive this communication and this message from your agent.
Hi, this is your dedicated Family Security Plan representative, Gregory Brito. Congratulations. By choosing the Family Security Plan, you have taken the first step in order to protect you and those you love. Life is a journey, and I look forward to taking it with you. If you have any questions about your policy, please contact me directly at 646-429-2417 or our service department at 1-800-243-2292. Thank you again.
I love that. That's awesome.
So we do recognize that it would be ideal to have the video play right there in the member's inbox, but research showed that most email service providers at this time do not support the playback of embedded video and require you to link out to a video hosting server such as YouTube. As you can see here, we've kept the videos fairly short. We're targeting a 15 to 25 second time frame for each video. It takes 10 seconds to capture a consumer's attention, but after second 30, you lose about 33% of your viewership. So let's take a look at the next touch point. And this is a happy birthday message. This is going to be triggered to go out on the policyholder's birthday. So John, it looks like it's your birthday, so your agent has a very special message for you.
Happy birthday. On behalf of the Family Security Plan, I'm sending you birthday wishes to you for a healthy and happy new year. Your birthday is a great time to make some updates to your policy information. Please contact me directly at 646-429-2417 so we can discuss further. Thank you.
Now I did want to point out that after our first round of filming and editing, we did make the decision as a team to remove the sales agent's personal cell phone number, and in just a moment Katie will speak a little bit more to our decisions for contact information and reporting. But let's just take a look at that final touch point, which is a happy anniversary from the Family Security Plan. This will be timed to go out on the policy anniversary date during the month in which the policyholder will be receiving their annual review call. Presently, annual review calls are taking place during month 10, so this would be timed to go out on the 10-month policy anniversary date. So Tim, it looks like you've almost reached that year mark with your Family Security Plan policy, so let's listen to see what message your agent has for you.
It's been almost a year since you made the smart decision to purchase the Family Security Plan. I would love to review your policy and see what else may benefit you and your loved ones. Call me at 646-429-2417.
Thank you, Amanda. After we finished filming on those 3 videos, we made the decision to also include a 4th video. This is something that would happen during our rollout. So for the 4th video, we had the idea of doing a 6-month check-in. This is several months after the sale took place. The person might be second-guessing that policy purchase decision. So by sending out a 6-month check-in, we can put the Family Security Plan back at the forefront of their mind. This particular video would not be done necessarily with the intention of making a repeat sale, but more so to reinforce the value of the Family Security Plan. Ultimately, we want to keep these policyholders on the books. So, now that we have showed you our video materials, we can move on to the topic of implementation. Ideally, we would like for this to go out to the entirety of our sales agent force, but we're realistic, so we have chosen to begin our rollout with the MBC agents. One of the most incredible things about the MBC agents is the sheer quantity of successful sales this team is able to make without ever having face-to-face contact with their clients. So, our video... Fly. Very popular.
He's an aggressive guy. He's very aggressive.
Awfully friendly.
Attacking Christine.
Our video engagement will allow the MBC agents to forge more personalized bonds with their clients, one that may not have been previously achieved with communications, generally limited to over the phone. Upon communicating with key players in MBC and business analysis, we set several benchmarks so that we can gauge the success of this program. First, we would like to suggest establishing a unique 800 number so that we could definitively track any calls that come in as a result of this program. Second, we would like to also propose establishing a unique market code so that we can track any sales that are made as a result of our communications. As for persistency information, this would have to be tracked over several months as the information becomes available in our system. So research we conducted suggests that consumers that hear from their agents regularly are 10% less likely to shop around, and this can improve retention by 5%. If we were able to increase our first-year retention rates at NBC by half that figure, let's say 2.5%, this would undoubtedly be considered a major success for our team. Originally, we had the idea to roll this out with new incoming agents. We would film their videos during Pat Week and then begin our rollout thereafter. Upon actually communicating with the training department, however, we discovered that the Pat Week format would be dramatically reformatted in the next 6 to 9 months. So, by beginning our rollout with the NBC agents, we have a tremendous opportunity here. Not only will we have ample time to gauge the success of this program, but we can also fine-tune any kinks and really perfect this before rolling out on a larger scale. And now I will pass things along to my colleague Mason.
The good news, by the way, is that fly, it's getting everybody.
He's definitely getting everybody.
He's getting his sweater.
Your turn.
So communication has changed. This is what we use now. You guys remember back in the days, we used to have that phone on the wall with the 15-foot cord, be in the kitchen, get wrapped up, just making dinner, right? Or how about those days when you had that, rotary phone? We almost ended up going back to that.
What are you looking at?
You start dialing 08, you mess up, you gotta start all over again, 08. Remember those days? You see how far technology has come? Things change. And since then, we're able to expand on communication. Now we call that S.A.V.E. Okay? I'm sure all of you know that insurance is non-tangible. It's not something that you go out and you buy, drive home in a nice big shiny car and a big red bow on the top. You can't touch it. You can't feel it. So, what do we need to do? We need to connect people to that. Every second of the day, there's a video that pops up on YouTube. People view it. People view, they connect to it, they hear it, they love it, they listen to it. So how do we connect to those people? How do we engage those people? We do it just like every single major social media out there. We do it the way that we know we can connect to them. With their eyes to see, their ears to hear, and their hearts to receive. Right? That's S.A.V.E. You guys see it. Sales agent video engagement. So what did we learn today, right? We learned that 2/3 of Americans all own smartphones. We learned that you guys take it everywhere you go, even into the bathroom, open up that phone, any second you get a phone call, right? So what we have to do, we as a company have to make it something that you can see on it. We learned that 98% chance if you get a text or a video, right, Jim, that you're going to open it. 98% chance, even right now during this meeting.
That's 2%.
So we have to give you something to listen to when you open that video. We also learned that the average person's attention span is 30 seconds. So you guys know.
That's it.
That's it after that, right? So we got to give you something that you can feel. So in conclusion, before you pick up your cell phone, Jim, look at the email. Before you view your text, Tim, ask yourself, how do you view insurance? How do you value your insurance? David, how do you see your insurance? And Julie, how do you remember your insurance? Say, sales agent video engagement. Thank you.
Terrific. So let's go to our panel, because I know they have some questions.
I got a question. You referred to the cell phone thing, Amanda, when you said you decided that we should probably not be throwing people's cell phones on here, and I wholeheartedly agree. I think that, everyone throwing their cell phones out could cause, over time, an agent to be bombarded. But we also have the channel conflict issue. We have, where do we drive these people to, where do we have them turn? So while I love the whole concept, how it ties the policyholder to the agent, makes them know that they have a place to turn, where do we give them to turn if they need help?
Yes.
And how do we avoid that conflict?
So the reason in terms of taking the sales agent's personal cell phone number off of there is that they would not be able to then make a sale because we have nothing for them for compliance purposes. We would not have anything set up where they can actually make a sale over the phone. We want to ensure that if somebody is calling to review a policy, that they can do so at that time. On the email blasts and the communications themselves, the calls to action will be aimed at giving them a place to call, but also directing them to speak with that sales agent back in the branch.
Have you thought about using for our reps who have hybrid technology, using that number?
Absolutely. So once we roll out to the field, and we can get those agents' videos for the hybrid agents, then that would be something that if it was in New Jersey and we had a hybrid in New Jersey, then we would use that New Jersey local.
It's funny that you mentioned that. We had the opportunity to speak with Laura Whaley, like her thoughts on rolling this out to the NBC agents. That was actually one of her suggestions as well, turning this perhaps into a hybrid campaign, getting them involved in the different regions. So it's funny that you brought that up.
As you scale this, I understand the launch plan with NBC, and there's a great way of being able to track that, and I applaud you on that. What I'm looking at is when we scale this, when we scale this, how are we going to track the relative success of this if some of the sales are made in the branch and not through a tracking code or a call-in?
Sure. So after speaking with Linda, we can use the Marketo contact ID of the person who received the communication. So anyone that receives a communication, we can pull that contact ID, provide that to business analysis, and they can run it through. They can get us information on the persistency statistics as well as any sales that are made not over the phone.
So it's trackable in many ways.
Have you, just a follow-up question to that, just unrelated to that question though, and that is, have you, because I'm listening to what Jim is saying, and I'm trying to think of how we can solve that. I don't have a resolution yet, but I'm just thinking out loud. Have you looked into being able to connect the policyholder with the rep directly through some sort of a scheduling concept as opposed to a hit or miss type of phone call, and especially if they don't have the rep's telephone number, but they want to make contact with that rep? Have you thought about that? And if you have, is there a particular resolution to that problem?
Yeah, so one of the pieces that comes about from that is we would really need the buy-in from the field sales agents to check their email. One of the main ways that somebody can get in touch with a representative to schedule time to visit them in a branch or at an offsite would be via email. And if we're communicating the importance of this program and we can communicate how this is going to help the sales agents effectively, then we feel that we can get those agents to start checking their email a bit more. But we know across the board that text message has been the way that most of the field managers say is the easiest way to communicate with their agents, because the agents don't always check their email. So they communicate via email and text. We would just need to encourage that email check-in.
So I would like to pose a solution that requires some work, but I actually know it's gotta work. What you're presenting is an inexpensive process once you get it out there. So the sale, as opposed to a sale where you drive somewhere and you're somewhere like at an offsite, or every day you go into a branch and you're there, and those are expensive sales. But when you drive calls in, we know that if those folks over the phone can sell double or triple the amount that, or even more than the amount of people that are face-to-face. So it's a less expensive sale. I propose to do the research, someone to do the research, and say that we could pay both people. You see, channel conflict is all about the money. and credit. So if you're able to identify the person through the call-in number and identify that the sales representative's, video got it done, there is no way we should, this has to be significantly less expensive, and we should be able to afford to pay both. And if you do that, everyone will do it. Channel conflict is only about money and credit. And what companies forget is that, and they get frozen into some sort of what we can and cannot do. I propose that we figure out a way to do both, especially because it's less expensive. But first, it needs to be proven, which I think is easy enough to be done. I don't have those statistics, but easy enough to be done.
Yes, and to put a number to that, the research suggests that video engagement communications can increase your digital sales by 40% in comparison to your traditional digital marketing. So we looked at digital sales for a year time frame from May of 2015 to May of 2016. And if we were able to increase those sales by that 40%, and 40% is a low industry estimate, so we went conservative, it's typically 40 to 60%, but we wanted to give a conservative number here. If we were to increase the sales by that 40% with the video engagement pieces, we can expect to increase the sales that come in by $279,000 in just 1 year alone, and that's at a very conservative estimate.
I think Dave's point is